Mikamba, and remember we are coming to you live from the ATV studios here in Nairobi, and we've got a lot to line up for, and as I promised, dramatic clothes, you see. We're keeping it African. It's Friday, and I love Fridays because you get to keep it African. I get to wear dramatic attire and so many other things. But then before that, let me give you a rundown on what will be in the show today. We got the catch-up. That's what we're going to start with, our opinion question for the week. And you can remember the whole of this week, we've been dealing with alcoholism since we figured that in a place like Isinya, things were nabbed. And we've got Business Mwananchi, we've got the quote of the day, inspirational moments, we've got safety, the guest of the day. It's so much excitement. We're going to meet a very important person, so you better keep it locked and keep it Arise Africa. We've got habits, the DIY, and so much more. But first, we start with the catch-up. And this week, it has been about alcoholism, the whole of this week. And you can remember the story we had on Monday, where we nabbed 168 cartons of Starlight brand illicit brew was nabbed on its way to Isinya from Nairobi, and that's triggered the question about alcoholism. So on Monday we started to cover how can we tackle the illicit brew, and you guys had your comments, and on Tuesday we continued with the same story. The other day we talked about, how alcoholism affects productivity, and you had your own opinions, and the people who said that it actually does affect productivity and affects productivity negatively got it, and the people who were supporting it didn't support it as much. So the guys against alcoholism won. And today we're going to tackle something close to that, but it's about alcohol and violence. Do you think alcoholism triggers violence? What's your take? Talk to me. Remember our lines, hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. Talk to us and tell us what you think. We will be sure to read your response. And that's our opinion question for the day. Do you think alcoholism really triggers violence? Do you think alcoholism really triggers violence? Talk to us. Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter, hashtag Arise Africa. And that's right, we will keep on reviewing that topic across the show, so be sure to keep it locked and tell me where you're watching us from. Just tell us where you're watching us from. We'll be sure to read it out aloud and tell us where you're catching us from, and also give your opinion on the topic for the day. But right now, we go to our healthy tip while we continue with Arise Africa. That was the health tip for the day. You've all had grape juice sometimes. We've all had grapes. But then you did not know, if you did not know what it's all about, it can help with your fatigue, because it deals with fatigue. It calms your nerves. It helps you relax. And it has a lot of vitamin C, which also helps the body relax. It also deals with your fever. So if you're having fever, it has a lot of fluids. Grapes has a lot of fluids, so it can also help with fever and insomnia. So those guys who keep up late and cannot sleep, not because you want to or you're watching a movie, because sleep is not there. It also helps with insomnia. And for pregnant women and for people who are expectant, it also helps with the swelling. It also helps reduce the swelling of the feet. And that is the health tip for the day. Are you learning anything new? Hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. Talk to us and tell us what you think. And remember, our opinion question is about alcoholism versus violence. Do you think alcoholism really triggers violence? Talk to us. Hashtag Arise Africa. The numbers are on your screen. That now we go to our Business Mwananchi. Business Mwananchi is a segment that I really like because people get to talk about their businesses, how they started it, what it's all about, what inspired them to start it. And this week we relaunched Business Mwananchi with different takes, with different angles, different entrepreneurs. We had distributors, we've had suppliers, we've had contractors. We've talked about very different stories. But then it's the uniqueness of all the stories that make this segment very special. So this week we'll get to talk to Jumbo Sounds, and we got to hang out with them earlier this week, and this was our Business Mwananchi for this week.
Jumbo, Willy, Willy, Willy.
Paul Lorena, the assistant director for Jumbo Sound Records. Jumbo Sound is all about music, and music is our business. It was started by my cousin called Cyprian Longeri. He's in the US, but most of his colleagues are here. Example, Imalu Nyambali, the CEO, and Jeffrey Kamau, the marketing manager, but they're still not around. It's been here for about 4 months, and we're making hits. Yeah. We've done Kireka by Dike Kwenye Beat, Tam Tam by Willie Paul, and Says 8. We've also done the audio by Hopkid Delilah, and our current project is by Willie Paul, still in progress. Initially, we wanted to venture into the matatu business, but it turned out to be a hard thing to do because of the police and everything. So, and Eastlands, as you know it, there are no professional studios around, so we decided to put a studio, then we start from there. We see how it works. Our family, we love music. Most of us, our cousins, everyone. So we sat down, then we decided to start a studio. It's our passion. We're trying as much as possible to remove hits, to move good songs, quality music, everything. What makes us different from the others is that we cater for each and everyone, the poor, the rich, the classy, the poor, each and everyone. That's what makes us different from the rest. For special cases, we try as much as possible to subsidize the rates. We make them cheaper, but quite affordable.
My name is Wanjie Caroline. I am the secretary here at Jumbo Sounds. I also do the hospitality bit of the place. Yeah, it's a starting business, so we have to help each other where we can. I also, like Paul said, we are starting a modeling agency. So I'm in charge of the modeling agency. So I call out to any model out there, anyone who feels they can model. We are not discriminating the sizes, the height, anyone. Provided you have a good look and you have confidence, we are looking for you. We are also searching for dancers, we are searching for singers, bands, all those types of people. We are scouting out for all those types of people because we want to support those kinds of people, especially the ones who cannot, like, let's say, cannot access to get money for studio, or cannot access to get money for like modeling and that kind of thing. Yeah, so we welcome anyone. Yeah, Jumbo is a very nice place. Yeah, we are very hospitable. You should ask anyone who has been here. We are very, very hospitable. So welcome, come find us. Find me at the reception. Tutapiga story. We'll have fun. Yeah, karibuni.
We do collaborations, especially on video. We've done collaboration with Samidi because at the moment we are not doing video, but we are planning to ship the equipment. They're on their way coming. So we're planning to expand it to do even videos. Yes. Or as Jumbo Sound Records, we are planning to venture into the commercial business, the advertising agencies, and we're also planning to do modeling. We are even doing auditions at the moment. You can find us on our Facebook page, then you get our numbers, then you call us. As Jumbo Sound Records, our biggest challenge is trying to outrun the other recording studios that have been there all along and marketing as per se. Yes, it's been hard, but we're hoping for the best. Yes.
Just do what you love, because right here I'm doing what I love, and if you do what you love, you'll do it to your best. Yeah, don't force yourself to do anything. If you love music, come do music. If you love dancing, dance. Don't let anyone tell you that it won't pay, because in the long run, your talent pays more than any other thing. Like, there is this quote in the Bible, I don't know if I know it correctly, but it says, your talent will make you to sit and dine with kings. Yeah, so I believe a lot in that.
Life is hard, make it better by doing something reasonable with life. Yes.
Wow, fantastic story right there. That is Jumbo Sound. I loved their decor. It was good reception. It was a fantastic place to be. And their business story was just very, very encouraging, because it started from, thinking of what to do and what gaps are there. And they thought about the music industry. And they thought, what about we set up a studio that is going to beat the rest, and that's going to set the pace in Komarok. And that was a fantastic place. The decor was really nice. So it was very inviting from outside. One, the reception was really nice. We enjoyed the company of the people. We hanged out for some time, and that was the story, our Business Mwananchi for the week. And remember, you can also be on my Business Mwananchi. All you need to do is talk to us, say Arise Africa, hashtag Arise Africa, and then talk to us on Aviation TV Kenya, at Aviation TV Kenya, on Twitter, on Aviation TV Kenya, on Facebook, and tell us what your business is all about. And we'll be sure to book an appointment and just come and cover and see your business story. And maybe it will share it and inspire somebody out there. That is all we're all about. And remember, this is Friday. That's why I'm looking dramatic. And I promised dramatic clothes yesterday. So I had to deliver. I just had to deliver. We are keeping it African today. And there's a lot of African names, but they're running around. Stay tuned. The show, you'll know what I mean when you stay tuned. And we've got so many other segments to come by. We've got inspirational moments that's yet to come. I'm here to give you a jog of the mind with our quote for the day, and we've got our guest for the day, who I want to keep you guessing. So you've got to keep it locked. Tell me where you're watching us from, and talk to me about the opinion question for the day. Do you think alcoholism really triggers violence? Do you think alcoholism triggers violence? I've got my own reservations, but then you've got free opinion to tell me what you think about the opinion for the day. Hashtag Arise Africa. The lines are on the screen, so talk to us and tell us what do you think about the topic. We still have got safety to come with Napo. You remember Napo sends illustrations about safety, hazard, and so many things that you need to know. We still have got the good vibes performance and the feature. A lot to look forward to for the show, still at the show. And right now, I like to jog your mind with our quote of the day. We are addicted to our thoughts, and if you cannot change our thinking, then you can never change our mind. We can never change our situation. A quote there by Colin Carlo, Shanktosh Carlo, rather. And that is a quote for the day. Does it jog something in your mind? Remember, how you think really sets who you are. And if you don't change how you think, you can never change the person you are. And maybe sometimes you feel like life is taking you this way and it's taking you that way. It's taking you round and round in circles. But then if you have a depressed mind, you can never go beyond that. If you have a tired mind, you don't feel like I need to change or do something important with my life. I don't think I need to push myself harder. That's exactly the person you'll be. So it's as simple as that. That's what it means to me. What does it mean to you? Talk to us. Hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. And remember our opinion question for the day. We've been talking a lot about alcoholism this week, and we started, it all was triggered by the illicit brew that was nabbed on its way to Isinya, 168 cartons of Starlight brand. It was a story that ran on Monday, and we just decided to talk about alcoholism and how we're fighting it. We talked about curbing it last time. You guys gave your opinions and talked to us. And remember, today we are talking about alcoholism versus violence. Do you think it really triggers violence? I told you I've got my own opinion, but then I'll give you that after you give me yours. Let's discuss this. Talk to me. Hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. And that was our quote of the day. Right now we move to our inspirational moment. I love this segment because it's a short film encouraging us to be better people, to work harder, and so many different things. So we get our inspirational moments as we continue with Arise Africa.
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวันเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
What is it that you desire the most? Live life and change it. That's a feature, that inspirational moment really captured my attention because it's about the simple things you do. Sometimes we pass street urchins on the street and we're like, they don't know what they're doing in their life. And you never know how that simple act of dropping a coin, sometimes dropping a coin there, you never know how many they've collected and how they change their lives. Sometimes we are skeptic about it because, hey, it's Nairobi, and we always feel like somebody's out to swindle you, somebody's out to con you. But then sometimes it's about changing a life of a person. And that's what the inspirational moment was about, changing the life of a person. And you don't even have to get anything in return because as you saw in that illustration, so many different situations. The guy was always just sacrificing. Another part he goes, he sacrifices again. And it was different. It was different all the time because it's all about, it's all about finding the different scenarios that you can help, finding the different ways in which you can help, and you help out. That's all we're about. That's all we're about in Arise Africa. And what do you think about our inspirational moment? Does it inspire you every day to be a better person? Remember, you can also give us a hint of how inspirational moments make you feel every morning. Hashtag Arise Africa on Facebook. Hashtag Arise Africa on Facebook, Aviation TV Kenya. On Twitter, at Aviation TV Kenya. Talk to us. And remember the opinion question of the day. Do you think alcohol triggers violence? Alcoholism triggers violence. Excessive consumption of alcohol, does it mess with your thinking that you actually get violence? Talk to us. Tell us what you feel. Hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook. The numbers, the lines are on your screen. That's how you can get us. And right now, we've just had our inspirational moment. We had our business manager for the day. We had the health tip. We got the catch-up, which forms the basis of our question today. And we move next to safety, where Napo is going to give us an illustration of how we need to live. Sometimes I wonder what runs in Napo's mind so that to give us such funny illustrations, like why would you hug a load? But then it's all about what that illustration was all about to me, what it talks to me, what it communicates to me about is how you need to carry your weight. When the weight is too heavy, have a good position to lift it. Don't lift a heavy load and you're far away, you might injure your back. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And what other ways do you think you can lift your load safely without injuring yourself? How do you work? Is that how you work? Remember, Napo shows us different ways of dealing with different things. And there's activity on Facebook already. Danger Dennis, what's your opinion? What's your opinion about the question? Thanks so much for joining us. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on the question that we've just asked? Do you think alcoholism really triggers violence? Talk to us and tell us what you think. And that was our safety by Napo. It's always giving us different illustrations. And Napo sends us these clips all the way from London, and really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. We're keeping it Arise Africa. We're keeping it fresh, always trying to teach ourselves new things and learn together, because that is what Arise Africa is all about. So right now, we do take a short commercial break, but when we come back, we meet our guest for the day. Prepare your questions. You'll be mind blown. He has been in the industry for more than 10 years, and he's done a lot. I don't want to break the suspense. I just want you guys to see him, and he has his friend over. So we go on a short commercial break, but when we come back, more of Arise Africa.
At the Kenya Institute of Media and Technology, we are the gurus in the training of certificate and diploma in journalism, computer studies, business administration, hospitality management, travel and tourism management, clearing and forwarding, social work and community development, and electrical and electronics. Visit us at our head office at Mtihani House and Taveta Court, Nairobi. Kenya Institute of Media and Technology. Technology is power. Take your career to the skies with Nairobi Aviation College. 2014 intake is in progress for certificate and diploma courses in aeronautical engineering, airport operations, general aviation piloting, electrical and electronics engineering, computer science and IT, hotel and catering, travel and tourism, journalism and mass communication, business management, supplies management, community development, clearing and forwarding, secretarial, CPA and ATC programs. Visit our campuses in Meru, Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, Mombasa, Eldoret and Kitale. Our courses are IATA approved. Nairobi Aviation College. Profession is power.
Adam, this is a show that talks about men and all the morphological aspects that surround this avenue. Join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. and there's a repeat every Wednesday at 10 p.m. For any of your questions, comments and suggestions, topics as well you'd like us to discuss, feel free to let us know on our Facebook page, which is Aviation TV, Twitter handle, which is at Aviation TV Kenya. And I am your host, Leona Asika Obura.
The boiling point mix.
Active Sounds DJ.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. This DJ is awesome.
Crossing over.
Crossing over.
As we crossing over. Jesus taking over. Make it with a baby. Make it with a daddy.
Activate.
Let go the wine. Let go the protein. Make it with a baby. As we crossing over. Make it with a daddy.
Activate.
Let go the wine. Dance with Christ like a sun you want shine. Active.
At the Kenya Institute of Media and Technology, we are the gurus in the training of certificate and diploma in journalism, computer studies, business administration, hospitality management, travel and tourism management, clearing and forwarding, social work and community development, and electrical and electronics. Visit us at our head office at Mtihani House and Taveta Court, Nairobi. Kenya Institute of Media and Technology. Technology is power.
Welcome back to Arise Africa, and we are joined by our guest, Kennit B himself. He goes by the name Kennit B Soundcloud, and is joined by Inspector General himself. And that's what he told us, and it's his name. And I'm so honored to have you guys. You know, guys, when you have really people who you really look up to and have been there for such a long time, you tend to humble yourself. So do not wonder why I'm composed and quiet. Nisabu niko mbele ya gwiji wenyewe. But then thank you, so karibu
Thank you so much for inviting us in, man. We've been looking forward to this, and I think this is the right moment now.
Yes, because I've been trying to really get you, and you're a really busy man.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get you on, and you know, it has been a lot of hassle just for you guys. So prepare your questions. We're joined by Kennit. The numbers are on your screen, #AriseAfrica, and he's going to tell us, you know, what he's all about and how he started and for how many years he's been in industry, so that you understand why I am busy here being humble. Yes. So Kennit B, you guys will introduce yourself. You'll tell the viewers who you are and what you do before we continue.
Our names are, you've told them, I'm Kennit B, born from Nyanza. Born in Nyanza as Odongo Kennedy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Kenyan, not a Jamaican. And I've been doing spoken word poetry for quite some time until I met very great friends who've been pushing me along the way, who've been walking with along the way to work with. That's why I decided to walk along with my friend Inspector General, with whom we are now running PAL, Poetry After Lunch, a platform where we do mentorship for young poets. Because there are a lot of platforms have been calling in poets to come and do their gigs, but they want top cream poets. Yeah, but here is a different platform where we work with those who want to be poets or those who have talks in themselves and want to push them out.
Yes.
So that is why we are here today.
Thank you so much, and it's such a pleasure because PAL actually happens on Thursday in the afternoon.
Yes.
And so many people. I had Sheila B's earlier, and I had Shanky B, and they were always talking about poetry after lunch.
Yes.
And it happens at the Kenya National Theatre, people. It happens every afternoon. It's open for all. That's what I understand.
Kenya National Theatre or Kenya Cultural Center. The space has been provided by the Kenya Cultural Center.
Yeah.
So Kenya Cultural Center is a different entity from Kenya National Theatre, but they operate in the same compound, opposite Norfolk Hotel on your way to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and that's the direction. So if you want to find out more, and if you're a poet out there and you feel like this is my passion, I've been doing spoken word for quite a while, and I need a platform. Trust me, if you go there, they promise to have you there. They're mentoring people.
Sure.
And you can tell us in your spoken word, you've done spoken word for quite some while.
Yeah.
If you can tell us how many years you've done it, and for how many years you've done it, and the story behind it. How did it start? Just a brief history.
I think the beginning of me as a spoken word artist dawned when I was still a young kid, because I grew in a storytelling family, where I came from, my background. And then from there, when I started recording my music, writing my lyrics, back from primary school, secondary school, that's when I joined a studio where a friend told me that, Ken, whatever you are writing, whatever you are trying to put on beats, is not so music. It's not musical. This is more than music. This needs to go without the beats, the accompaniment, so that people really get what you have. Because my lyrics, I believe, are heavy and enough.
They are.
Yeah.
I will give you that for a fact.
Yeah.
I've had this guy on stage and he's fantastic. And you can introduce Inspector and tell us, when you guys met and what's the story behind you guys.
Just before Inspector talks for himself,
yes.
We used to Kenya Cultural Center or Kenya National Theatre is an open place for artists from all over Kenya and all over the region. So it's where most of our top celebrities started doing their work. When I used to go there early times, I used to see friends playing their African percussions, drums, and African elements. And I decided to be curious enough and talk to them, mingle, and try put our work together. That is when I realized that the fireman, Inspector General himself, had the ability to push things working. He never stops. He can talk for himself now. That's enough for us.
Thank you, preach it.
Yes.
I'm James Matekwa. I come from Western Kenya on the adjacent forest of Kakamega Forest. I'm also an environmentalist. I run an organization called Global Warming Initiative Artist Network. It is a network I use to voice on the matter of environment, the matter of tree planting awareness, to recarpet back our riverbanks. Then I'm very blessed man, because I believe I myself am a tool to advocate. I met this guy the way he has just described, and I realized that we are walking the same paths of life. And I also come from a storytelling family.
Yes, fire.
And I also deal with matters of ecological matters. And we come at a very critical time. At this point, you find many youths are losing the way. They're losing from reality, and they want to make everything very short to make themselves comfortable. So we are standing as the elder youth leaders to make sure that things are not working from our hands. And we give thanks to the Kenya Cultural Center for giving us space to portray, to exhibit our ideas and share with no intimidation, with no tribalism. Share with anybody, so long as you are talented and you come on board. This man is tireless man. I'm a tireless man. We are there ready. In fact, it's like once we see them youth coming, keep on coming, you are making me grow younger, not older. Because the idea I share with them, and then I'm like, am I remaining an empty head? But I find this world is so mystic every day, and then
the new knowledge keeps on coming back.
Keep on adding
new knowledge keeps on. As you work with those who are younger than you,
yes,
wanakuchanua, they chanua you, they spark you up.
Yes.
Because it was written even in the books of the wise that there will come a time when beautiful things and secret things will be revealed to the youth, not to the old.
Yes.
So the best way to tap that wisdom is to relate with them, talk to them, and give them a platform as we do with the Inspector General.
Yes, and sometimes understand them. And because you've talked a lot about, inspiring culture, storytelling, which is really important, because yes, I feel like somehow our culture is run through the storytelling, our different diverseness of being African, wherever you come from,
sure
from this continent,
sure
from this country. Sure. We've got our culture, we've got something that makes us African.
Yeah, man.
Not only our skin,
yeah,
but this something that makes us
yeah,
African.
Yeah.
And if you can walk, because he's from Western,
yes,
and you're from Nyanza,
yeah,
people can call you neighbors, but those are different cultures.
Very.
And you understand each other because you're African. Yeah. And you can maybe shed some light on how you think we are going nowadays in the youth. I can talk from the youth point of view because I'm not that old. But how do you think we are heading there? Because he's talked a lot about being the microwave generation. I agree. Because sometimes I feel like maybe I'm working too hard. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it happen. Why is it not happening? Just a little bit of advice on what we can do as youth to keep calm.
One thing.
I request if you can let me in before him on that point.
Cool, Moses.
Yes. Yeah,
I call him John the Baptist.
I've been in the industry. Me, myself, being in the industry, I've dedicated most of my time to do research on various avenues concerning the entertainment industry of this country. Not that since I knew myself, I'm talented, I'm multi-talented, I do not touch just to make the money and go for holiday. We Africa, I always tell him we are not on holiday.
Yeah.
There is no holiday in Africa. In fact, in this country, when you send youth to go for holiday, what are you creating? You're not developing the country.
It's a vacuum of development.
There is a vacuum in development. So, I've been in this industry for quite some time. And my findings, some of them are very touchy and are very reality from the community we come from and what is happening from the society. You come and find that, you see, you cannot sell like hip-hop. Let's talk about now music, and we are talking of the new digital era now.
The generation.
Yes, the generation. You want to sell hip-hop to people in England, to people in USA, to people in Russia, from Kenya. It's tricky.
Yes, it is.
It is tricky because we all lean our mind in the new world of computerized. We have forget about our own cultural, how we can motivate it and bring it in the new version. That is a long way. In fact, we are facing. But for him and me and the rest, from our research collectives, it's not a long way. It's a very simple way. And then you take a Kenyan hip-hop artist on tour to Europe, all tour. You see, I've never seen hip-hop artist going for tour in West. But look, and they're trying to diminish that concept. Every year, a lot of Kenyan cultural groups, they go to perform in Western countries.
Yes, they do.
But they're being paid minimal. Yeah? In fact, they make a lot of dance, many trips, than these big artists who cannot go there to go. These big artists are living on commercials and knowing one another, but they have never presented this country to a very high-profile contest.
Yeah, and which is a challenge.
Which is a challenge.
Yes.
So where is the problem? The problem is we don't look at Wangala, look at the Nyatiti from Nyanza. It's rocking all of the continent. The lady called Anyango. she's like, she came and, this is an element I'll use to voice myself
outside.
Internationally.
And decided to patent her Nyatiti out there, and we didn't patent it before. I feel like sometimes we need to patent some of the things that are really ours and localize them.
So what we are trying with this brother, like hip-hop element, we are trying to get Kenyan hip-hop using Kenyan musical elements. Because before my show, if I have a setup of Wangala, Nyatiti, Iskuti, Pumpumbu Tram from Coast, before even the show peaks, that is already critics to my culture. People want to know. People start asking, these drums come from which country?
Exactly.
What are
these?
How much is one?
Yes, someone is waiting, is Ika waiting for the sound that this element is going to produce. You are keeping someone on bay, waiting for the show.
It's called suspense.
Yes.
So those are some of the elements we are using, we are missing, and that's what most we are doing to tap in these young men. Because Kenya is very rich when it comes to cultural diversity.
Yes.
Very, very rich.
And from that richness, I've got to augment that. What the youth are missing because they want to create a shortcut to success. Watching TVs, watching Western spoken word poetry, Def Jam and stuff like that, and trying to ape and do exactly what is done in that. And that is not originality. What self-based is originality? When you go to a market, somebody is selling maize here, another one is selling maize here, another one is selling maize here.
There's too much maize.
Productivity will be minimal, commercial productivity. But when there is that variety, diversity, then you'll be sure that each and everyone will at least pocket something in his or her pocket when the sun sets. So I think that one is a limitation. And that is the platform we are trying to create, the forum we are trying to create, the originality forum, where you come with your mind as virgin, as pure as it is. And then we try fuse what you have with African elements, instruments, to give it a new package, something that has never been heard anywhere, so that somebody will be interested to listen, to buy, and to package you in his pocket and give you some money and take you back to his place as you remain here doing some more work. So that is the shortcut, that is the missing mark. So what we need to do is to understand the language, the common man, the market holders can relate to us best with when we use the language. After defining that, then the sound. How should I package this inspiration I have? Which sound should I use to drive it in there? What have people not heard in a long time that will be new, that will surprise them, that will make them touch their wallets and try buy your stuff? Because Mike, I always say that spirit cannot manifest without flesh.
True.
We have to support art in every aspect. I saw some friends of ours from Ivory Coast the other day, like 3 days ago. They were traveling and taking a stopover in Kenya, Nairobi. They came to see what we do, our daily rehearsals at the Kenya Cultural Center. And then when they watch us doing, they couldn't understand our language, the Sheng, the Swahili, whatever we do. But then they heard the sounds, they checked our eyes, the inspiration in us, and then they tapped their pockets and dropped some dollars because they are supporting. They feel that this has to be supported. That is elementally, that is what art is supposed to be. You give and it's appreciated in one way or the other. That is when the growth of art can be graphed.
Yes.
When you give, you get appreciated. It's giving.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a curve.
Yeah, so there is a curve. And that curve should really go high. And I think ours is
sure. It's bound to go
high. Sure.
And I love the way it's always about culture. It's always about originality, because Africa, we've got a lot of things to we've got a lot of things to offer. Before you travel to the coast, you know there's Chakacha.
No.
Before you go to, you know there's Ohangla music.
Kisumu.
You know, the Kisumu.
Yeah.
Before you go to Central, you know there's Mogidi.
Yeah.
There's always different. There's the Kamba have their dances.
Absolutely.
And you know we've got even other minority tribes that are very small. You don't even know them because they've decided to reserve themselves. They've got their own different kind of culture, and they've got got what they practice that is theirs and it's new. Absolutely. And I think the challenge is, because right now we are in an era where the world is really not much far away from us. Sure. I can understand what the British guys are doing. Sure. I can understand what the Americans are doing. But then trying to find yourself in that mark, I think the challenge, especially for the youth, the YYY generation, I think you guys call us everything, the YYY generation, the microwave generation, because you want to do everything now, and you don't understand why it's not happening. Sure. And you mentioned a very good point about, sometimes when you go on tour and you're a rapper, and you're good in what you do, but then you sound exactly like, maybe say, Lecrae. Yeah. You sound exactly like him, you just have different skin. You just have a different look. But then if anyone needs to listen to you from the radio, you sound exactly the same. Sure. And if you try to find that African culture, and I'm excited because you've said that Poetry After Lunch really does too much about, trying to fuse Africanness with the creative minds. And who are some of the, I'm curious, who are some of the products that you guys are having there and you feel like these guys will be the big, if you can mention them so that we can have an idea if they've been here
I could do that randomly. There is a guy from Kibera who is called Nyumbakumi, Chief Cardiff. Very good. There is Silabi, you hosted him here. Very good. There is Shanky. Very good.
And they were in African clothes, which is good to remember.
And that is what we promote there. We want to promote our culture. We want to sell our culture. Our culture was robbed away from us, taken somewhere, then sold back to us very expensively. But now there is that revolution. There is that revolutionary attitude among all the poets who I'm still mentioning. There is, now he's called Grandmaster Masese. We have very, very many people there. There is Queen, who is a very young girl from Kibera and doing very wonderful stories. And right now we are trying to package these stories and have a life skills project, spoken word project for life skills only, just to let the youth know when to say, where is the condom? Just to let the youth know when to say, no, I don't want sex. Yes. To make the youth know now, no, it's not all about sex, it's love.
This is my stand.
Yeah, this is my stand, in fact. So I love that. That's our project.
Yes. Thank you. You see, a lot of excitement. I'm so excited. I'm going to let you guys have coffee as I talk about the weather to catch up with what is happening out there, so you guys can just enjoy yourself.
Killing the cold weather.
Yes, we can have our weather right now. And that is how the skies look today. Yesterday it was so sunny. By 7 it was already yellow. Today you can see the clouds have decided to dawn. But it's a beautiful day all the same. Hoping you're enjoying Friday from wherever you are. And that's how Nairobi from the horizon looks like. That's how the weather looks like out there. It's cloudy, a little bit chilly, but then not so cold compared to the previous day that we've had. And there's a lot of things that you're supposed to catch up with. And there's a lot of things. And if you're about to leave your house, this is exactly how the weather is like. So choose wisely of what you're going to wear. Choose wisely. I'd advise you have something warm to just, something that you can remove because you never know how the rest of the day can go. But then if that's the weather out there, that's exactly how Nairobi looks like. And from the horizon, you can see that is Westlands because that's the only place with trees. and you can tell that's exactly how Nairobi looks. The sky is cloudy. But then the sun is up. I'm pretty sure it's going to clear out during the day. And I'm having a very good pan. That's Alex Munyao up there with the camera showing us the look out there. That's coming to you live, by the way, on Arise Africa. So that's exactly how the weather looks like in the CBD and, around Nairobi all the same. And that was the weather. Thank you so much for that update, and we'll be keeping you updated. And remember, Arise Africa, we still have our opinion question that is pending, and we've got a lot of questions. Kenneth B and Inspector himself are in studio, and there's a lot of wisdom going around. So if you're a poet, and if you feel like you need to learn something about your culture, because it's all about Arise Africa today, ask them any question. I'll be sure to ask them. You know how I do. Just ask a question. I'll not even paraphrase it. I'll ask it, but then keep it PG, and know exactly what you're asking. And hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter, and talk to us and tell us what you think about that. Before we continue with our talks, there's this segment I call the habits. Habit is interesting because habit is always about things that sometimes people do in the society that are annoying. Or maybe they don't know how annoying it is because they're used to doing it. But then it's after some time it's annoying. Like with guys who are used to chewing, then sticking it under the surface. They feel like that's a very good disposal because I've stuck it. It's not on the ground, it's on the surface. But then you don't know what that does to the next person who comes.
Guys who are used to sleeping on others' shoulders in a mat.
That's another thing. I fall victim all the time because by the time I leave this place, but then I sleep on the window. I always make sure I'm on the window because I'm always sleeping in the matatus. I don't know why.
It happens. It happens.
I don't know why. Sometimes fatigue takes toll on you.
I lost my phone 3 days ago because of that.
Because of that. Sorry, but then it's Nairobi. Nairobi, it happens all the time.
Sure.
But then that's our habit. So let's check out our habit as we keep on discussing with a lot of wisdom in studio.
You're not going to play it, do you? Probably not. Okay, well, I'm just going to... Okay.
Christina, do you think that this can pass as a unit move? Like, it doesn't bounce, but it sags.
That is what you call trying to force puberty. That is what you call trying to force puberty. Sometimes you should be confident in yourself. It's a habit. Like you feel like sometimes our ladies really try to be beautiful, and they really are. And I feel like if they could embrace,
sure,
their beautiful nature, just
the natural gift from the
natural gift
divine,
from God. Yeah. It could be really nice, but then sometimes they try boost here and there. I don't know. To me, it's a habit that needs to talk. And Hosea is awake. This guy is always keeping me, keeping tabs and always watching Rise Africa. Hosea is awake. Wangoi Katrina is awake. Dennis Denjo. And I'd like to know your opinion. Your opinion. And this is a question I think I'll read to Kennit B. And Professor, he says, good morning, alcohol. This is about alcohol. I'll just read it. Alcohol is very effective. It's a very effective violent catalyst. So I think it promotes. A less violent person is likely to get more wild after drinking. So he's actually saying, yes, alcohol does trigger violence. But that's his opinion. So thank you so much for that. And today's guests are great. Kennit B is a good friend on FB. Kadi Papa Show. Yeah, Kadi Papa Show. People know your show. Kadi Papa Show. Inanipambako tu sana. And if you could ask them any question that you feel. Thank you so much for joining us from Wangige. Now I know your place, Wangige, in Limuru Road. Thank you so much for joining us. Ask them any question, and I'll be sure to ask them here. And there's a lot of activity. If I could, I'll refresh and see what's on our page, what you guys have posted on our page, as we even get to know more about Kennit B and Professor and their story, and learning a lot about how we need to handle ourselves as Africans, because they are older than us. So, than most of us, older than I am. I'm pretty sure that there are viewers watching who your age mates and are agreeing with you guys. And if they are, please talk to us and concur with their statements. Disagree or agree, just keep the conversation going. Hashtag Rise Africa on Facebook and Twitter. Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. And the numbers are on the screen. Remember, on Twitter is at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. So that is what we are talking about. And there's a lot. Rise Africa on Friday, funny enough, it's always about culture. It's always funnily about culture and what we need to do as Africans to grow.
Just to preserve it.
To preserve it. And you mentioned something earlier that I wanted to ask. The global warming, the global initiative. I got a hint, but then we got carried away with the stories about the youth. So if you can please shed some light on what that is all about.
The global warming initiative artist network. It is a network that was created by artists themselves on the matter concerning climate change and global warming. These advocates, they are not just only artists, but again, they value their surrounding, the environment within them. It's just the way you say it. After you have chewed, they come and then you come stick it under. You see, it is that is a practice in mind, and it's homing.
Fire.
Yeah, it's homing in the mind because you'll keep it up.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is something you look at it as a minor thing, but it's not a minor thing.
Yeah, because you're used to it.
Because and then you can imagine from the creation up to right now, if we had been keeping those minor things, is it not warming or the globe is warming? If I might trace something to us.
Good wordplay. The globe is warming. You know, it's a good pun from global warming.
Yeah, so these are sensitive artists like the likely my brother. He does some campaign. In fact, he was working on something. We have been busy. He was working on something on Naivasha, on the matter concerning the environment ecosystem. We wanted to do that campaign. So Global Warming Initiative Artist Network, it is artist stroke environmentalists who have come together. Now, on their upper hand, they find that they can voice it. So it is a network that brings out the awareness on the matter concerning our environment, sanitation, recycling, tree planting.
Fire.
In fact, myself, I'm working on a project along Kakamega Forest that is carbon credits with friends from US, Dallas. And I started it, and it has given a grant opportunity to community youth who are adjacent to the Kakamega Forest. They're in practicing, they're planting trees. At the end of the day, they can take a shilling home, they can take a bread to their family. Just thinking of a concept and develop a concept and bring a concept into practice. I think that is has been our most inspiration when it comes to art and environment. So it is, you can visit www.gwian.com. Gwian. GWIAN.com. You will get more information on what we do and how we can come together.
And who are some of your partners? Because I remember there was, like 3 weeks ago, we had an environmental week. We were talking just about the environment. And on Friday, was it on a Thursday, I ran a feature about, environmental.
My partner,
carbon.
I'm very sorry to say my partner is no more alive, but in spirit is alive. Also, Wangare Madai. When Mangare Madai, she passed away, things went just on the rocks, back on the rocks. You can see what is happening in Karura Forest. People are snatching the forest, building up apartments. You see, they have done it to be their own, just because Karura is a leafy place, and those rich people, who want to grab, we call them wild grabbers. Yeah, they're fighting to grab the land for their own benefit. I remember 3 weeks ago, Professor Nyong'o was talking about this. I'm a fan of Sunday Nation Standard. I like reading Professor Nyong'o's column. He was lamenting this, and he's saying, these people who are taking this country back on the rocks after the pass away of Wangare Maathai, now they have come back again in Karura Forest, want to kill it completely. On the water catchment, then that's where they're building the
and not
floods.
Exactly,
their own residents. You see, you are killing the water. So my brother is, if you tell me to go to get funds from NEMA won't help me. No, they won't help me. The culprits in the same system. Go to Total Kenya. Yes, the spoilers. The cars, you see. Pollution, you see. But they have multi-billion projects that are funded. At least they contribute to whatever they cause. But you cannot see that money, my friend. So we believe from ourselves and the soil. We practice what we can. Because we are tired knocking into their doors, seeking for funds. And then someone knows this idea, this young man has, is a noble idea. And if it goes through, some of us, it will cut down our shady deals. You see, so we are a Kennit team, and that's it, man.
And it's so sad because it's just the system. It's just the system we are brought up to, because there's a lot of shadiness and there's a lot of corruption. But then I always tell guys, because we cannot deal with the corruption overboard. Like the little things we do, like even the inspirational moment for the day, as you saw it was just about that simple coin of dropping that coin. The act of wisdom, the act of kindness, the act of conserving environment wherever you can. By not littering the streets. Because I remember before the late Michuki died, he had cleaned the Nairobi River. That river that passes through Ngara and that overpass was really clean.
Very good.
If you see it now, it's back to black, and you wonder what happened. That garden that was dedicated to him was placed there because he cleaned the river and he planted some trees. It was supposed to be something to look forward to make Nairobi greener. And I feel like sometimes we don't do enough to protect our environment, even as individuals, even as, the common people. Because I always feel like when we say the government, who is the government? Exactly. The government is you and I, because we elect those same people into power. And I believe, like, if we could act, and I love the way you said, you do not need to go seeking for funds. You just do it yourself.
Between you and the soil.
Between you and the soil.
Yeah, man.
And I like that. And I like that stand. Because sometimes you'd work so hard. The late Wangari Maathai, I didn't know her so much because I was growing up when she was really busy fighting the 1992s and the 1993. That's so far back. But we know her in history because she fought, and she fought a tireless fight.
But I've got one thing to comment over Wangari Maathai and what you said. It really touched me. And those who are doing this because they think Wangari Maathai is dead, stay rest assured that someday your offsprings will miss their bread. Again, those who are doing this because they think Wangari Maathai is dead, stay rest assured that someday your offsprings will miss their bread. Yeah, that's all.
And it's really good. It's always about, because if Africa is to survive, and I think by far it is the place to, because Africa has a lot. It contributes a lot in agriculture, even in the States and the Western world. We really export a lot of our of our greens. They go out there.
And it's always, Mike, it's always true that if those who succeed in agriculture are those who agree with culture.
Depth. I'm snapping to that because it's a really deep line.
It came. It fell from the providence.
Good one, and I like what you stand for. And it's not all about. Sometimes you see, it's not always about art, you guys. It's art and then the practice that you have. It's the art. It's art plus the practice you have.
True.
Yeah, man.
You say you're an artist. You say you're an African and you support everything African. Start from the simple things. Your environment. If that's not your passion, if you don't bleed for the environment, you can bleed for whatever you bleed for. If you feel like you need to stand for people's rights, you do that. If you feel like children need to be talked about, you do that. Just do whatever you can as an artist.
This is a point I wanted not to miss out.
Yes.
And even I'll show you some of the footages. They're very devastating. And we are living on a time bomb, my brother, as I talk on the matter of climate change, global warming. I witnessed recently with my eyes a constructor taking a foundation in Embakasi. You see, it is a water catchment area. The environment within it can tell. For an environmentalist like me, I can tell this is a catchment area. But you find that the place has been neglected in a way that it has been turned to be a dumping zone, sewage, everything there. Then, since another one come with another mind, I want to clean this place and put a building here. You see, as he clean the place, now they take a foundation. Taking a foundation, the sewage lines have come to drop all the polluted waste there. Now, this developer, when he comes to take it away, he uses the same sewage to mix sand, concrete for building. And you want people to live in those houses. We are living on a time bomb.
And it's currently happening.
This is acidic water you are using to mix sand, cement,
and it's really
it's
graphic, and you really don't expect people to do that. But then the commercial mind, I always say it's the commercial mind. I don't know, because even in some places that we live in, you find that it's a really nice place. They're really nice apartments. But then they go up to 7th floor, and there is no lift. I'm imagining if a pregnant woman is to come from 7th floor, and you can't supply yourself with lift. But then I think it's the level one. It's the level of poverty, negligence. Mostly negligence. Poverty has got nothing to do with it. Sometimes negligence and people being so much about themselves. If we could mind others, and while we plan those estates, because sometimes I feel like our estates are too crowded. There's no space for anything. If an apartment in some of our places could catch fire, you are sure the whole estate will burn down.
It goes that way.
Because there's no place to, and there's no allowance. There's no place to dump this. There's no allowance at all.
So, Mike, those are the topics that make us tap our punchlines and our poetry build up to give the society that spoken word poetry that can bring the revolutionary change we want.
Yes, and that's a good point that you've actually mentioned it. I was just about to ask you. You've talked a lot about environment, so I know like a lot of your writings about environment and things that you need to change in society and encouraging productivity and encouraging originality. So if I could ask you, in your whole of your spoken word life, because you've done a lot of spoken word, you've got a lot of things out there. You have your albums out there. What are some of the things that you actually bleed for, that you've written? One of the best lines that you can say, I wrote this, my heart was bleeding to this piece.
I wrote this when my heart was bleeding over the environment. The march talked of atmospheric crack is getting wider, and this could be the beginning of the worst human-witnessed natural disaster. The non-wanted rays are penetrating further. It is now a standing fact that if we don't fill these gaps, then the pending calamities will have no option but to erase us from the face of this earth. How sad. But sometimes I feel thrilled seeing seedlings being planted by kids. Environmental concern is what makes I weep. Mother Nature's illness is almost becoming impossible to treat. The rocks underneath are not resting in peace. The ozone layer is depleting. Scientists are giving briefings, but the fear of how sad this earth will cease to be is what makes us think it's a joke. We are in a catastrophic fix. The globe is getting more heat. The globe is getting more heat. Something is going on around, repeat. Something is circulating around, repeat. From the epicenters, the plate tectonics are ripping apart the home of our dreams. And it will happen sooner than we think.
So you get a lot of wisdom. You just went in your zone there and just left us here looking at you, and we were wondering, wow, what must have run through his mind? So it's a lot about environment. You guys, remember hashtag Rise Africa, hashtag Kennit B, hashtag the general himself, and just talk to them, ask them any question. There's a lot of wisdom in this set. You just waste your opportunity out there, but I'll be sure to ask the questions for you. If you're watching us, tell us where you're watching us from, and hashtag Rise Africa, and also comment on the topic for the day, because it's about alcoholism and violence. If you think alcohol really does affect violence, and Hosea has told us that it is a catalyst. It is a catalyst to violence. People who are most likely to get people are likely to get more violent and more wild after drinking. And I really tend to agree with you, Hosea. I really tend to agree with you. But then remember, there's more on Rise Africa. We still haven't done the do-it-yourself segment. There's a segment called Do It Yourself, where guys talk about the things that they can actually do for themselves without calling a technician, without calling a specialist. Like fixing a bulb, changing a car tire. Some things we can do ourselves, and then we really don't do ourselves. I will just check this out, and we'll come back, we'll discuss it.
the first thing you need to do is actually unbutton it. Stop trying to iron and not button things up. You know what I mean? Just go here. Yes, men. I'm using a men's shirt, so it should feel like it's all about you right now. It's all about you. I'm going to get some spray starch. And you see, that's an even spray. Do you guys see that? Can we see all this? These are even sprays. This is not a spray here, spray here. This is a nice even spray. I have this on the next to the highest setting. Also, when you're ironing or before you iron, read the type of fabrication that you have. Read it. Okay? And what you want to do is you just want to go up and down. I like a little shimmy. You see that? Like, I like my iron to shake. And I really do love to iron. So it doesn't bother me one lick. When you get on the side, the sleeves, for the seams, you want to go over just a little. Let the steam start to get on that. You want to pull up on your sides when you get to your collar. You want to iron there. And point the face of the iron where the seam is. You see that? That seam is there. I'm pointing the iron inside of that. And we're going to shimmy. We just going. I like this, you know. I do. I like the shimmy. I like the little back and forth, shake it motion on the iron. And then when we get on the placket, what we want to do is pull it. We want to pull it so it's nice and tight, so that you get a very direct line. You see that? You want to pull your placket nice and tight. She's just spilling everywhere. Get a ruly iron. You see, I have to beat my iron. You have to beat Rowentas down. You do. You have to beat her down because she's just used to doing what she wants to do. Sometimes you have unruly irons. Just beat her. That's all right. And then you do your other side. When you're doing in between your buttons, you want to go in, 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 in. Yes, do that too. I feel like that's important. That high heat setting will save you every time. Let me show you the correct way to do the back of your shirt, gentlemen. Wait, let's do the side seam. Wait a second. Let's do this arm seam right here. Right here. This is how you do it. You see that part of the iron I used? I took it from here. This part of the iron. The shirt actually goes on there. Yes. And then we're going to iron. Like you would, just nice and regular. Nice and regular. Go around the collar. Hit your shoulder seam. You see that? Let's pull that up. Nice and iron. Do we see this? Nice and iron. And then let me show you how to do your back, because I see a lot of people who just skip the back. The back, and they skip the placket as well. Okay? Let's get that pleat. Let me show you how to do it. You're going to go up. And men's shirts are the easiest thing to iron because the ironing board, it kind of is in the shape of a men's shirt. They were totally designed for you guys. Now, what you want to do for this part is pull the top of the collar. You see it's already taken shape. Pull it. Send the iron straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Send it straight up. You see that? Bam. Wrinkle free and gone. Don't let me catch you out on the street with wrinkles in your clothes because I know the difference. I know this morning wrinkles and I know last night's wrinkles. Don't tell on yourself. All right now. It's your girl PW signing off.
Welcome back, you guys, to Arise Africa. Remember, we've been keeping it interactive with the professor, the Inspector General himself.
Yes, he's a professor.
Professor, Inspector General,
yes,
I call him that. And he's passionate about environment. And Kennit B himself. They came here because they're spoken word artists, but then you can see there's so much more that happens around art that you guys do not know. And now you know. And Jose is keeping us, is alive and up in arm. I'll read your comments later, but first we catch up with our traffic. You can see the roundabout that connects University Way, Lower Status Road, and Waiyaki Way is, as usual, stuck coming into town and free going out. But then you know when you're about to leave town, you can get that. That's the Lower Status Road that connects Lower Status Road and Nyerere Road. That's the junction. But then you can see there's traffic. It's moving. It's not that bad. But if you're to get to an appointment before 9 and you're still in Westlands, trust me, you're already late. So you can use another route because it's already stuck in traffic. You'll be stuck in traffic. You can see the road up there. But then it's not as crazy as it was yesterday. Today, traffic, at least, it seems to be flowing. And Museum Hill, that's Forest Road overpass. It seems to be moving, and that's how the traffic looks like on that side of the road. More on on your way to Westlands, it seems to be moving. There's really not too much traffic Nyla going to Westlands, but there is so much traffic coming to town. So if you're coming to town, you choose wisely. Choose wisely the road to use. But then it's moving. You won't stay in traffic for so long. But then that's exactly how it looks like today. We are giving you more updates live, from our studio, and the spy camera is somewhere around town, just taking a good cover of our favorite road, Uhuru Highway, Waiyaki Way. And you can see the roundabout is stuck. You don't need to know what is happening. Guys, motorists trying to, get the right routes and know which ways to go and try meander some. But then remember to drive carefully so that you don't cause traffic. Drive carefully. When you start grabbing bumper to bumper, that's where traffic comes from. And you can see Uhuru Highway is crazy this morning. It's actually crazy. The lanes are clean, but then it's stuck for a while. But then I think it's because it's being queued. Lanes needs to be moving. And you can see Uhuru Highway, the road that connects it to Kenyatta Avenue, the roundabout around Kenyatta Avenue, and what we call Central Park. Kenyatta Avenue, Uhuru Highway, Central Park. It seems to be flowing. It's not that bad. And it's so funny, Kenyatta Avenue seems to be clearer than all the other routes. Lucky guys. It seems to be clearer than all the other routes. And that's exactly how the traffic looks like. And it's fantastic from this side of view, and an overview of the traffic. And that's how Nairobi looks like. Nyerere Road is like that, and so much more. Thank you so much for that, Alex, for that live traffic. Now we're keeping you updated. You know which road to use when you're coming to town. And Hosea Kabuka has also posted another point, and he said, Arise Africa hashtag, talking about destroying water at catchment areas. I saw a construction going on somewhere around Hillview near International High School along Lower Kabete Road, and I believe it's illegal. Yes, I also believe it's illegal. It's around the capital area, but then it's about the system. Something must, and he emphasizes that with a capital letter, something must be done about it before it's too late. True, something must be done about it before it's too late. Somebody needs to wake up and say something about it, do something about it. And you see, there's a lot of support when it comes to environment. And
sure.
So many people think something needs to be done to environment. But then the buck starts with us. Like when I decide today, in my capacity, I can't really build a road. I can't really start, I can't plant the whole forest, but I can plant 10 trees. Another person will plant 10 trees. If 100 people plant 10 trees, that's 1,000 trees. Just
imagine. So
you can imagine if 10,000 people plant trees.
And if 10,000 people cut down 10,000 trees?
Exactly. It's the question goes back and forth. True, sure. That's an interesting perspective. But then I'd like us to talk more about, planting the trees. And I believe that environment needs to thrive.
We really need
we need to have fresh air, because it's impossible to get fresh air, especially in the CBD. Hence this air conditioning. Sure. We air condition the environment that is not even conditionable. We are conditioning it. We are finding newer ways of doing it.
Sure.
Let's just condition environment by simply planting trees and working way around it. Thank you so much for that, Hosea, and thanks so much for keeping it Arise Africa. I'd really like to ask you guys, before I like to stop talking so that you guys can go to the performance land, but then I feel there's a lot of wisdom that is set to go out. Do you have any future projects? Do you have any future projects in your poetry as such, and and in what you guys do?
Yeah, we have combining. Each and every one of us has his or her own, because we also have that gender balance within our movement projects they are doing. But there is a combining project, a house project we are doing together as PAL, and it's called Sauti ya Afya. It's a project involving our poets to discuss, to put together very constructive life skills pieces, which we'll put together for a show.
Yes.
A monthly show, and the budget is being checked somewhere, and I think we are really working towards to achieve the best from our personal efforts.
And thank you so much. And there's a lot of people joining us right now on Facebook and joining conversation. And if you're just joining us now, this is Arise Africa, and I'm joined with Kennit B and Professor General himself. And we've been talking a lot about environment. Now, Hosea, these people always join us in the morning. Hosea Kabuku joined us and is liking what you guys are doing. Apostle Enos Camila likes what you guys are doing. B4C, welcome, and he's liking what you're doing. You're late today, but then thank you for keeping it Arise Africa. Robert Mwangi is liking what what you guys are doing. Wangoi, Katrina, also join us and like what you're doing. Dennis Denjo, also like what you're doing. And Kevin Kamisha, I'll read your comment once it loads. And thank you so much for keeping it Arise Africa. And those are some of the projects that these guys, the guys that you're seeing over here, have been there for more than 10 years in poetry and art. But then you can see, besides the art, they're doing a lot of things to conserve our environment. And Kamisha says it depends on on how a person takes it. This is about alcohol, I think. It depends on how a person takes it. If you are a non-violent person, even after drinking, you'll still be happy, and happy and vice versa. So if you're a violent person, you'll just be violent even after drinking. If you're a pacifist and you're silent, you're never violent, you'll still not be violent. That's his opinion. And Kevin Kamisha, thank you for that interesting take. But then remember, alcohol catalyzes. If you're a violent person and you would have reserved it when you're sober, when you are high and you're feeling,
sparks you up.
It sparks you up. And thank you so much for that opinion. And I like the different opinion because people have different opinions over every topic. And if it somehow comes to affect us, it's a good topic to talk about because alcohol has been talked about over and over.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine who, when he drinks, when ikifika poa yani, anaingia kwa bed yake, he enters his bedding and starts crying there.
Crying?
Yeah, he thinks of the world's problem.
What a reaction.
So people are different. In fact, yani, he cries, yani. And then he tells me, but he said, Jana, I cried. Yani. After the dose, I went home straight and cried, man. This world is full of problems. Because after the alcohol, now he sees the things
he sees the problems. That's a really strange way of looking at it because I've never known alcohol to be one of the, to remind you of your problems. It's supposed to make you forget. I think
some people, it reminds them. They come to look for their nanny after sipping something now. Wacha niende nimdai pesa zangu. So it reminds you of your problems, and then if you don't want to go attack someone, you go into your bed and cry there.
That's a good way of looking at it.
So that logic says that a man can cry.
By the way, you're supposed to just cry in your house. Just cry. If you're a crier, just cry from your house. And that's how we keep it. Hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. Talk to us and ask any question you want because these guys have a lot of wisdom and you don't want to waste this opportunity. And for those who are just joining us, it's Kennit B. And the PAL we are talking about is Poetry After Lunch.
Poetry After Lunch, which happens at the Kenya Cultural Center every Thursday from 1:30 to 3 p.m.
1:30. You can spare that time, while you're taking a stroll. Just drop by Kenya Cultural Center. For those who do not know where Kenya Cultural Center is, it's also the same compound that houses Kenya Conservator, and it's the same place that is the Kenya National Theatre. So that's the Kenya Cultural Center.
And it's the only place that is opposite Norfolk Hotel.
Yes, it's the only place opposite Norfolk Hotel, and that's how you put it.
Sure.
I also dropped a little bit of accent in there.
I got that.
and so much more.
And
so
what
much
is funny
excitement.
about what is funny? What is so strong and so powerful about PAL is that PAL is the only place where we give chance, we give airtime to virgin poets.
Yes.
If you want to try your guts, if you've
just
feel that you're a poet and you want to try out, just come to PAL. We don't choose, we don't segregate, tribally, racially, no. We just give our microphone to any artist who wants to test out these guns.
Yeah, and just to mention, Shem Dua is watching. Welcome so much to Arise Africa, and tell us where you're watching us from and ask your question. Even as we almost go into the performance lunch, because I'm so curious to see what these guys will do.
Oh.
And if you guys are free to answer this, people have reservations. What's the story behind those dreads?
Oh, dreadlocks. Inspector, could you start?
Yes, please.
Professor.
That is just solely on your voluntary. If you feel like you don't want to share it, that is too deep, it's okay. But then I'm really curious because they always symbolize something.
To me, it symbolizes who I am. And for me, it is I principle for liberty. Because I feel, or sometimes I think, change has to begin with me. So the first representation in my life is me. So the traits, for me, it symbolizes who I am and my way of life. Yeah.
And that's how, because I always believe like the dreadlocks are like the African long hair, because our hair is really kinky, it really can't go high.
You mentioned it.
If I put if mine is to go a meter higher than this, it will definitely kink. It will definitely kink, and eventually just be dreads.
Yeah. Oh, as for me, Annie, I believe everyone has dreadlocks, just as you're saying. Others keep it short. Like all Africans have dreadlocks. Others keep it short, but others let it grow. Our hair is the dreadlocks hair. It's the Solomonic hair. It's the hair of Abraham. From the ancient time, from the Old Testament and the New Testament, Jesus Christ, black. So, to me, my hair is not a sect thing, a religious thing. It's just the image you see in me, and accept that this guy has vowed to do submission. It's a symbol of vow. There is a vow I've taken to push word and positivity through the young generation and the coming generation. The 21st century.
And it's just about, you know,
just identity. Buddha. Hair.
But the hairstyle, you know, and how you like to be viewed as, and how you like people to see you, and it looks really artistic.
And Pia, when we were starting the show, you hey Ken, I know you're a busy person, and I don't have that much time to go. With word we have to run.
Nobody got time.
There are a lot of young generation that need to be attended to. Their poetry pieces have to be edited.
Yes.
We have a lot of shows. I have to come to Arise Africa TV to do a thing after this. I've got to go to Kenya Cultural. So when will I?
Yes, when will you? Anyway, and that's the story behind the days. I know guys are wondering. Like I was. I'm a really curious person. And Shemdo is joining us from Kiserian, Kajiado, loud and clear. Thank you so much for keeping it to Arise Africa. And ask any question we do. But then right now, I'd like to send these guys to the Poetic Lounge. But then I'll leave you as you wait in suspense to see what they're going to do, because there's going to be a lot of drama and a lot of depth, a lot of wisdom coming right next. I'll send you to the Poetic Lounge. But then I'll leave you guys with the good vibes as you wait for the Poetic Lounge.
Take our instrument.
Hey baby, even though I hate you, I wanna love you, I want you, ooh, ooh. And even though I can't forgive you, I really want to, want you, ooh, ooh. Tell me, baby, why can't you leave me? Cause even though I shouldn't want it, I gotta have it, want you, ooh, ooh. Head in the clouds, got no weight on my shoulders. I should be wiser and realize that I've got one less problem without you. I got one less problem without you. I got one less problem without you. I got one less. I know you're never gonna wake up, I gotta give up, but it's you, ooh, ooh. I know I should never call back or let you come back, but it's you, ooh, ooh. Every time you touch me and say you love me, I get a little bit breathless, I shouldn't want it, but it's you, ooh, ooh. Head in the clouds, got no weight on my shoulders. I should be wiser and realize that I've got one less problem without you. I got one less problem without you. I got one less problem without you. I got one less. The best thing now is probably for you to exit. I let you go, let you back, finally learn my lesson. Either you want it or you just play, and I'm listening to you knowing I can't believe what you're saying. There's a million yous, baby boo, don't be dumb. I got 99 problems, but you won't be one. 99 problems, but you won't be one. You won't be one, won't be one. Head in the clouds, got no weight on my shoulders. I should be wiser and realize that I've got one less problem without you. I got one less problem without you. I got one less pound without you. I got one less, one less.
Aliwish angejibaia zile makapsulu ongeza libido. Uoni wakati Awino alimkunja kaa kipino, akimfinya na full force ya kisigino baada ya kujipiga jeki na pilo. Mshia kuconsider eti raia alikuwa na dude mbili kimo, cause hata ni yendi alimbaia njiva na tarino akidhani eti ana tune dem simple. Kijana kwa amefikisha umri wa kucheza game kaa hizo, lakini mkia ilimpeleka mbio, akaamua kuonja chililo. Kijana alikataa kuwa mngwana, mishowe akamangwa na mchanga. Kuna matime ni lazima tutunawe hata kama tunaenda kumanga na kijiko, lakini ni masikitiko kijana kuona uzito wa wisdom kwa punchline kaa hizo. Madam kumwambia, kama mkolikizo si tunaweza enda Maringo uone pale mimi ujificha Indo. Kijana alikubali bila kuconsider eti happy ya kiuno huacha viungo na vitisho. Aliamua kuwa mzigo juu ya ule hakuwa anasikia uzito. Kijana alikataa kuwa mngwana, mishowe akamangwa na mchanga. Enyewe happy sipokulo kwa kipimo wani rahisi mno raia afe kwenye pinhole. Camera digital, phone kali which can download my free porn just like any other iPhone. Huo madama alimbaia kumlua into the mission, na ni ukweli alijitupa ndani ya Killzone bila kuconsider the reason behind death ya mamilion. The year 2030 haikuwa imemline up kwenye vision. Kijana alikataa kuwa mngwana, mishowe akamangwa na mchanga. Take it down low. Meaning ya Red Ribbon alidis, akisema angeweza vaa bed Gideon because the lady alikuwa chrome in his opinion. What an oblivion. Kani dish alipewa na pia akapewa, kulewa ikapata share, alafu akakataa kuwear the elastic layer over the owner of his underwear. The hardware remained at risk because Kaspersky was nowhere to be found in the software. Kijana alikataa kuwa mngwana, mishowe akamangwa na mchanga. Alikataa kusikia la wakuu, so baada ya miaka katu alikuwa anainuliwa juu, miguzi kimsupport viudu was kuliko hata ya tuktuk imejibeba boot full. Loop ya bound to lose ilikuwa inachapa in his mind all through. Ndula kampuni haingetengeneza inches less than 2, so akala ingedu. Alitamani sana awe na nafuu, lakini fundi wa mbao tayari alikuwa anaunganisha udi yake na glue, alafu akatuacha for good. Kijana alikataa kuwa mngwana, mishowe akamangwa na mchanga. Light it up. Take it out low. Karibuni kwenye story moja moto ya mbuyu fulani poko anaye take advantage ya usonko kumisuse madem kingono. Bado tu ni uhondo. Nitatumia lugha yetu ya soko kwa sababu kingoso ni vako yake ya uongo. What I mean is, kimombo itakuwa kidogo kwa sababu kimila pia ni lazima tujipatie promo. Masomo. Mtafuta ndogo ndogo aogopi uchungu wa kisonono, kwani akiteka advantage ya watu zake za mdomo hadi na action ya mkono hadi mono ukwit masomo baada ya kupigwa chobo na mguu ya tatu ndogo. Just imagine ndani ya gari kule sehemu ya backseat bila hata bedsheet. Si bakalia seatbelt iliwacha na backache. Kitambi ya sugar daddy imejaa kwa shati kwa sababu ya ganji ya dhambi. Sugar daddy ni hatari na madema wajafika 30 kwani tayari ana bari makladi na ganji. Ufurahisha sana madema wa hiyo kambi. Excuse me Sister Kathy, Mati, Mnati, Sandra, Njeri. Na wote wana bahati ya kuwatch Rise Africa this morning. Mimi si padri hapana. Hapa mko na Simple Nati anayejaribu kuridhisha hii halaiki na hizi lyrics fiti ili mjiepushe na dhiki ya huu nyang'au gaidi. Wote aliye walungula walijionea huruma alipotoa kaptula kitambi cheze rumba. Kitambi ya Sugar Daddy imejaa kwa shati kwa sababu ya ganji ya dhambi. Some girls are very unlucky, viewers. Some girls are very unlucky, honorable viewers of Arise TV Africa. Just imagine at the age of 13, Kathy alikuwa shagwerwa na Sugar Daddy, aliyemtumia taksi iliyompeleka maskani, pale alimchanganya na kanywaji kisha akamwona ndani, na hata hakumjali leta alipomcall kwa simu ya jamii. Jua kwa na mobile. Eti mnashtuka. Si baada ya kumtupa alikuwa Jumaimuna akamtafuna alafu akamtupa kama mfupa alipogwera sela ule sistake mlesa. Na si ni mimba ya Domtila ilifanya itwe kila baada ya kumpatia mita iflash kabisa. Kitambi ya Sugar Daddy imejaa kwa shati kwa sababu ya ganji ya dhambi. Naona huruma nyingi sana, kizazi kinaangamia. Industrial revolutionary babeli kubwa, pombe wanawake siasa kuchangia, na hata sisi wanaume uchangia. Naona huruma. Take it down low. Religion ishakuwa commercial by nightfall, wachungaji wanapishana na teachings za Bible, ujenzi wa mioyo umekwama kwenye Linton. Of course Sodom and Gomorrah could never be everlasting symptoms, but wengi bado wanaiga lifestyles za Babylon. Oh Lord of mercy. Oh Lord of mercy. Almighty I. Demonic symptoms tayari zinaangamiza walio try to misrepresent your kingdom. Acquired irreligious despondency syndrome. AIDS imeingia kwa kanisa. Spiritual destruction ina make a big contribution to wicked intention. Wengi wanadhani ni allegation, yet kila siku tunaziona standardized across the nation. Nyota inamulika church pollution inayoangamiza the young generation. Vexation. Kama kasisi alinajisi, ilikuwa kwa gazeti. Kama pastor alinajisi, mbona tusiambie mabinti wakae rada kwa injili ya kila Jumapili, juu hata altar boy waliochoka kushika chini tayari wamedisma agenda za kidini. Mbona mnatenda mabaya alafu mkiambiwa dhara mnadai eti marasta upenda tu kuvuta kaya? Sasa masaka na ban Babylon entire. Napiga ibilisi means free za be still na this hypocrisy. Spiritual justice haipatikanagi in peace. Matthew chapter 11 verse 12 already has that on print. Watoto wa nyoka wataitwaje malaika kaa kuokoka inakindwa kwa maolta kwa bei ya soda na miogo? Wanabii walio dis marabii wasipojiadhari, pasia itataruka kwa mara ya 3. Ya kwanza ilitanguliwa na Eloi, Eloi lama sabathani. Nyasacha iwe anango. Yeah man, cosmic, take it low. Mpango wa kando ina thrive via Nangos. Boss anapelekewa samos na chai moto ndani ya thermos. Chapo zimeroliwa ka special offer za Nando's fried with Elianto kaza mama Diambo. Buyu has always thought ni packed lunch ama mama kos kumbe examarital shadows ina fulfill evil's purpose. Na si walienda Lagos kwa ile seminar yao ya workshop. Hapana! That same evening walionekana takoswa kinyonya bia na popcorn on a table lit with candles. Sijui kama ilikuwa ni doya alone, but the notes were in bundles. PA alikuwa shawekwa carton en route for a mission operation quite illegal. And back to the office this morning, kuna vile. Take it off, man. Fire. Yeah, telling our own stories in our own unique ways. Courtesy, Rise Africa. Kuna vile. Back to the office today, I said, kuna vile. Office table ina shake ni kai inadungwa repair fresh. Kumbe that is not the case, Inspector.
Wagwan Rasta.
Wanadhani ni earthquake na ni furniture ndizo zina break. Zina vibrate. Investigate before ikuwe too late. Ni hao meza ya mbao inalia kanda hii ya karau. Na ni aje meeting ya dakika 5 ndio inatingiwa mlango? Hey! Hii Nairobi. Kuna vile. Personal assistance. And I enjoy the resonance without any resistance. Mdozi amegeuza Rose Msoso amepost ni kama anabonga close intercourse iki. Flow nyuma ya doi imechorwa. Katibu anainamba solo ili aokote modo. Na ni ukweli anaokota modo demo anagomolo.
Wagwan.
Fire. Ni kama wanadansa ndolo ile waya yake ya solo. Lakini pia inakakapo no inaaktiwa na masonko na ni ukweli sio ndoto. 5 minutes later. Top ya secretary imecrease kupita kiasi. From far ina kasafi ni kai ilipigwa pasi. But on a close look, it's suspiciously dusty na pia ina harufu ya dhambi. Wamepanic. Nywele shagi, macho rangi na wavutagi bangi. Hawavuti hata sigara lakini pande hiyo ingine, si huyo mama ni mdeadly. Na si ni mama nani? Yes. She's married but has been caught red-handed doing it live on carpet. No, it didn't happen. It happened. The only fact is that it was interrupted by mic of Rise Africa TV. That is how it was interrupted. You saw him interrupting, and we are out. Fire! Rise up! Telling our own unique stories with our own African elements. What a new thing in town. Take it down low and cut.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, viewers.
That is exactly how it happens, you guys. This is... Yes, I bow.
Yeah.
I bow.
Blessed Lord.
And we leave the ball in your court.
Yes.
Welcome to Pearl and bring for viewers much of this.
I will. So
much
you guys,
in fact, on Thursday,
more of this,
7.
Poetry after lunch, Pearl, Kenya Cultural Center.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happens, and I was in the right attire. Guys, dramatic clothes sometimes really get you to good places. Because now I'm in key, I don't look off, guys.
And I think Kiwi may raise you. My viewers wanataka watch much of this, and I think next Thursday.
Yes.
At Kenya Cultural Center, Ukumbi Mdogo, from 7 p.m. We have a special show. From 7 p.m.
Gig guide you guys, Thursday, 7 p.m. Next Thursday, 7 p.m. Kenya Cultural Center, Ukumbi Ndogo. Get there, ask around, and you know exactly how you do it on Rise Africa.
Sure.
All those guys have kept us watching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hosea. Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much, Denjo. Thank you so much, that lady of mine.
Everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone who's watching. And I'm pretty sure the others watching, but then Neti Mekata. Don't worry, Wi-Fi itafika. Zuku will be there soon. And thank you so much. Remember, hashtag Rise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. And you can also follow these guys at Kennit B.
Kennit_B.
Yes.
And then on Facebook, Kennit B Soundland.
Yes, Kennit B Soundland. And Professor, do you have contacts?
I have contacts.
Yes.
You can follow me at www.QIAN, Global Warming Initiative Artist Network.
Yes.
Come and share with me the wisdom.
Exactly.
And on Facebook, he is Inspector General.
Himself.
Inspector General on Facebook. And you guys need to go check out that website, www.GUIAN. That is for Global Warming Initiative
Artist Network.
So it's GUIAN, you guys. www.GUIAN. and learn a lot about their project, learn a lot about conservation, see how you can contribute if you want to arise, if you want your children to see Africa the way you want it to see, if you want to see your Africa the way you want to be. And that's how we do it on Friday. So right now I'm going to leave you guys with a feature as I talk to these guys behind the scene, and thank you so much for keeping it Arise Africa. I'm leaving you with a feature, but then before I go, I'd like to say special thanks to the people who make this happen. There's so many guys who are around. It's not a one-man show. There was my cameraman Alex Munyao and Kefa Mito, and Alex Munyao today was doing the spy camera up there. Emmanuel Inonda. I was told it's Emmanuel. He doesn't want me calling Emmanuel. I've been calling him that so many times. Emmanuel Inonda, I was doing my directing. There's Kevin who does my graphic, and lovely ladies who do my editing of the health tips and the safety. Immaculate and Rose, thank you so much for always making Arise Africa happen. Triza, for always making sure I'm comfortable. Thank you so much for making Arise Africa happen, and so much more. Another people who help, my producers and my directors and my bosses. Thank you so much for making this happen. I leave you guys with a feature. Arise Africa continues on Monday with more topics to discuss. Bye-bye.
We appreciate. Bye.
Travel Mombasa. Today I take you to the Bombolulu Cultural Center, and here I'm going to prove to you that disability is not inability. Join me as I take you through the cultures and artifacts here at the Bombolulu workshop. Welcome.
Names are Ruth Awinja Kweyu from Bombolulu Workshops and Cultural Center, a project of the Association of the Physically Disabled of Kenya. We have several workshops at Bombolulu, including the wood carving, jewelry, textile, leather, and a mobility aid workshop where we produce wheelchairs and tricycles. We also have a nursery school for our children and a special daycare center for children with special needs. Our cultural center portrays the Kenyan life as it was a long time ago and as it is still today in some remote areas of Kenya. It comprises of a restaurant and an arena where you will be entertained with lots of African traditional music. Wow, you'll love to visit our showroom. It displays all the products that we make from our various workshops, and indeed it shows that disability is not inability. Welcome.
The Bombolulu Workshop and Cultural Center is located off the Mombasa-Malindi Highway in Bombolulu. The opening hours are from 8 morning to 4:30 in the evening. Founded in 1969, Bombolulu Workshops is a program of Association for the Physically Disabled of Kenya, APDK. The program trains and employs over 150 persons with disability in handicrafts production and related business skills in order to enable them overcome their physical limitations and empower them economically and socially to become self-reliant and fully integrated members of their communities.
Okay, my name is Esther Mwanyama. I'm the program manager of Bombolulu Workshops and Cultural Center. Bombolulu Workshops and Cultural Center started in 1969 with a mandate to empower persons with disabilities. As an organization, we empower persons with disabilities by giving them training in handicrafts making and even employing them for the same. These products that persons with disabilities make are sold locally in Kenya, and they are also exported. So from the revenues that we get, we are able to give them a salary and other benefits so that they can have a life just like any other person. Most persons with disabilities in Kenya are not exposed to education, and so it becomes very difficult for them to find jobs. Things have changed now, though. So most of the ones who are here in Bombolulu, most of them did not go to school, and so it becomes very difficult for them to find a job. But because they are talented in other areas, we were able to see that and give them an opportunity so that their livelihoods can be improved. We began in 1969. We have evolved over the years. We began with 6 people. At one time we also had staff, 300 staff. But because of the challenges that have been experienced in Mombasa and in Kenya, because most of our market is dependent on the security of this nation. Yeah, and because we sell most of our products to tourists. And so because of what has been happening lately, the insecurity, and also the political skirmishes that happened in 2008, we almost closed down because all the tourists were taken away and there was nobody to sell to. As a result, we scaled down our workers to 100. We had to lay off about 200, but transition them into something else.
Okay, and who does the marketing for the workshop?
We do have a marketing manager, and we also have a designer who helps us in knowing what's the trends, what are the colors, what markets require what. So the designer does the market research. We do most of our marketing online.
The cultural center portrays the Kenyan way of life as it existed in the past and still exists in remote areas of Kenya. For example, we saw the Maasai, Bukusu, Luo, and even Giriama homesteads.
This is the Giriama home. Yeah, the Giriama huts. They are built huts, not houses. And the huts are consisted of grass and wood. This shows the Giriama people are peasant farmers. They grow only crops. And they can live even polygamous life. And they are situated in the north coast part of Kenya. The Giriama activities is like pounding maize for flour, to cook ugali, and as well as keeping domestic animals like goats and sheep and cows. The Giriama people is the largest tribe among the 9 tribes which are found in the coastal region. Bukusu is one of the tribes which are found in Kenya, in western part of Kenya. And Bukusu is among other 27 sub-tribes from the Luya tribe. Bukusu people are fishermen because of River Nzoia. They are farmers and they keep animals like cows, goats and sheep. And they are chief producers of food in Kenya because their land is very fertile. They are always having a granary, which is no longer here, which they call it Isiaki. That's in the bracket Isiaki, that's in their language. And their house is consisted of cow dung, ash and clay, thatched with their grass. So now we are in the Maasai homestead, whereby we have Maasai manyatas, which are built most of the time by women. And the Maasai people are always nomadic, so once they move, they just go build somewhere else. They keep on being nomadic because of keeping a lot of cows. And these people, they have groups of people in the community. We have the Warani, who are the boys who are about 18 and above, and then we have the elders, Maasai elders, who are always staying in their group of elders. Maasai is situated in the Rift Valley part of Kenya, and is the famously known tribe by keeping culture. Luo homestead is situated in the along Lake Victoria in the southwest part of Kenya. They call it South Nyanza. And this is a Nilotic tribe originated from Sudan. They moved due to problems which were facing the Luos in the Sudan, like war, hunger, and all these problems. So they traveled along River Nile and headed towards the Nile Delta, towards Tanzania, and splitted into other parts of East Africa like Uganda and Kenya. The Luos have 4 groups: Jakajok, Jakawino, Jakamolo, and Alua Basuba. Those are the groups which are they are allocated in different or situated in different countries, one being in Sudan. Yeah. So these people are farmers. They do a lot of fishing as well as keeping rearing cattle. Yeah? They have 2 granaries in their homestead, which they call it Indio Dero, the mama, Dero ya baba. That's crow for animals, they call it Cool.
Right.
And that's the house for the father, they call it Abila.
The
There is another one for the mother, they call it Odmikaya, that's first wife. Yeah? But if you'll have a second wife, might be having another house down there, and they call it Mikai.
Visitors get to experience the Kenyan culture, traditional entertainment and music at its very best. The dancers entertain guests throughout the day, and you might not believe this, but one of the entertainers was a talented blind man who lost his sight due to measles as a child. The Bombolulu traditional dancers are now going to perform a welcoming visitors dance. The charismatic dance that the Bombolulu traditional dancers have performed for us. And with me here is Mr. Juma Richard. He'll tell us more about his work in this place and any challenges, if any, and everything that he's experienced at this place, at the Bombolulu workshop.
Okay, I'm Richard Juma from this place, Bombolulu Workshop and Cultural Center, and I'm a dancer and like a captain here. I have started to dance in 1994 in Nairobi, and now I'm here in Bombolulu Workshop for 4 years, from 2010 till now. So my job is just to dance. We're dancing traditional dance with cabarets, and that is only our job with me, and to maintain these homesteads. We have several homesteads in Kenya, Swahili, Bukusu, Luo, Masai, Tembele, Kikuyu, and Mijikenda Kaya. Those are the homesteads we have at Bombolulu Workshop and Cultural Center. Okay. So I have 4 years here, and at Bombolulu Workshop we are not monthly paid here. We are here like casual workers, just for contract, something like contract, but not a long-time contract, for short periods. And our job, we work with season, like the time we have guests in Kenya, tourists in Kenya, that is the time we work. We earn something from this job. But the time like this, we're just earning like nothing, because even Bombolulu Workshop and Cultural Center, they depend on tourism. So we don't have major jobs like performing outside, visitors at Bombolulu, things to go on, we don't have. We depend on schools, and if schools are gone, we have nothing to do, just to stay around and see what we can get from there.
But you get school tours, yeah?
Yeah, we get school tours here, they come.
Okay, and as a casual worker, are you paid like per dance that you perform here, or on a weekly basis, or?
No, in Bombolulu, they tried their best to pay us as like a salary, but they can't afford to pay us that much because it is a project of disabled people. So we just like earning 10% of what we get from outside to workshop. So our salary is not that big. We earn a weekly. Every Friday, they give us something small.
Okay, something small like how? Or you can't tell us?
That is our secret, but let us remain a bit.
It's okay, okay. And do you have a family?
Yeah, I have a family. I have a
that
wife.
you support?
Yeah.
Do you have another job that you do?
No, I don't have another job.
And how do you manage with the little that you get from here?
For now, because that is the experience I have, we are just living in $1, let me tell you like that, per day, because that is what we can manage. If you want to live more than $1 a day, we can't manage.
You have any children?
Yeah, I have 2 children.
2 children. It's tough. Huh? And what have you learned, I mean, working in this place all this time? Would you advise any other youth to...
First of all, you have to know this is a project of disabled people. So what you have to do is, many things you do, you have to volunteer. So all of us, we are just like volunteering to this place. So these disabled people, we don't want them to go back to the streets to ask for money. Like we have Mr. Ali Mangusha is blind, he can't see. He's working with us to get his daily pay. We have like Joseph Nzoka here, is a disabled person, he's working with us. So they need us to get their daily pay. So, and we need them. We don't want to go to streets begging for money.
Okay, thank you very much. The entertainers even shared their challenges and experiences with us.
Jina langu naitwa Mwangusha kutoka Kwale. Aswa hiki kikundi ni hao ndio wamenikuta hapa, alafu wakajiunga na mimi, lakini tuseme kutoka nijiunge nao napata faida kidogo hapo. na inanisaidia. Unajua kwa unaanza kuanza msingi, alafu ukipata watu ambao wanakusapoti jua mambo yako ni mazuri. Ingekuwa ni mabaya hawange kusapoti na wewe kukaa nao. Bado sasa hapo pana kanyongeza kidogo, na nawaombea tupate kazi zaidi ili wazidi kunisukuma.
Na ulizaliwa kipofu ama?
Nilikuwa na macho.
Nilikuwa na macho.
Tena wale watu walikuwa nacheza nao walikuwa ni wakubwa. Ngoma ni yangu.
Okay.
Alafu kaendelea na mziki wangu. Nilipofika miaka kama 14 ndipo nikashikwa na ugonjwa wa ukame. Ndio umeniharibu macho. Wakati walikuwa hospitali si nyingi. Banki kidogo ukipata ugonjwa mpaka usaidiwe, usipokuwa na pesa huwezi uende. Na wakati ulikuwa watu wana ujinga ule wa kujisaidia na mitishamba. Kwa kuna hospitali, kwa sisi tukishikwa na ugonjwa tukimbilia msituni.
We then headed to the workshops where we saw the artisans making their own jewelry and even polishing it in order to give it a clean and neat final look. All handcrafted products manufactured by the gifted artisans are then displayed in the gift shops, where visitors are able to buy these high-quality products. All this was quite an eco-social tour experience for me. The products made at the center range from necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and even wood carvings. Within the Bombolulu workshop is also a restaurant where visitors can relax and have meals. Okay, I would like to appreciate Beth Muridi and the entire management of the Bombolulu Cultural and Workshops for allowing us to cover the whole of this today's episode.
When you come to Mombasa, please visit Bombolulu Workshops and Cultural Center, where you visiting and your purchase for our products will make a difference to a disabled person.
I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. Join me next week for more insights. I've been your host, Sabah Salim.